My restless night was abruptly disrupted by the faint sound of my television. Throughout my night of restlessness, I thought I heard something, but I know I turned off all my appliances and lights. I sat up in my bed, listened carefully. I not only heard the television, but also the distinct sound of a man's laughter. I immediately jumped out of my bed, looking for anything I could use as a weapon. Obviously, there was an intruder in my home, but who would have the audacity to sit and watch television in my home? Maybe I'm hearing things or dreaming, perhaps. I slowly, carefully, quietly proceeded down the hall, down the stairs towards the source of the noise. Now at the foot of the stairway, I can make out the silhouette of a man seemingly sitting comfortably on my sofa. He seemed to be so preoccupied with the program he was watching that he didn't notice me. I intended to use the element of surprise and my broomstick to make swift work of this intruder. So I swiftly, carefully, quietly crept up on the intruder until I came within striking distance. Then to my surprise, he spoke, having become aware of my presence without even turning around. He said, "Friend, you have awakened, friend?" I thought to myself, who is this guy? Slightly frightened yet terribly angry, I asked, "Who are you? What are you doing here? How did you get in?" In the place of an expected answer was silence and the makings of a wide grin. Now I stand a little more frightened, yet that much more curious as to the stranger's identity. I looked intently at the stranger's face and immediately recognized him, and he's no friend of mine. I see the devil sitting on my sofa. It occurs to me that this is definitely a dream or nightmare, as I previously suspected. Was I watching or thinking about something horrific before I went to sleep? I rubbed my eyes a few times, believing after I cleared them that I would no longer see the devil sitting on my sofa, but there he was. Now my heart beating at a rapid pace, I ran frantically throughout the house, turning on every light, checking every door and window, ensuring they were locked. Somehow I believed this fear-inspired activity would bring clarity to my apparent delusion of the devil sitting on my sofa. The sprint throughout the house made me work up quite a sweat, too much of a sweat for me to still be dreaming. Following my frantic run through my home, I started to make my way back to my living room, feeling confident that this whole scenario outside of me running all about was indeed a dream. Once inside the doorway of the living room, I again beheld even more clearly the devil sitting on my sofa. Still not quite convinced that what I saw was real, I said, "Look, man, tell me who let you in." My question still went unanswered, at least not with words, but with the making of a now wider grin. I begun to sweat profusely, not at all comfortable with my visitor. It seemed to me the most intelligent thing to do with this unwanted visitor is to insist that he leaves, but I was more curious and intrigued than what would be responsible. I thought to myself, why is the devil sitting on my sofa? As I finished that thought, he looked at me with that same sly grin as if he heard my thoughts. The same way he grinned in response to my audible question, he now grinned, showing all of his teeth. After an awkward silence, he asked, "Friend, don't you recognize me?" This question unnerved me, for the devil spoke to me as if he had a certain familiarity with me, as if he's been an acquaintance of mine for some time. "Friend," I asked, "are you my friend?" I asked sarcastically. "Well, you always greet me as such every time you let me in," said the devil with his great wide grin. Confusion gripped my entire being. I stood perplexed as I tried to figure out the stranger's meaning. "I didn't invite you over," I said furiously. "Don't you remember, friend?" said the devil. He now laid back farther into the sofa with his feet kicked on my coffee table. Now seething with anger at the devil lying about me, invited him. I continued to listen. The devil explained, "Remember that conversation we had? I needed a place to stay, and you were the one to insist that I should go and get my bags. You even brought my baggage in for me." I screamed, "Shut up, you liar." Unconcerned by my pain, through joyful laughter, the devil exclaimed, "I am somewhat of a liar, but look around you and see the truth." My eyes seemed to open wider as I took in what I apparently missed all this time. I was in utter amazement as to how all that my eyes took in went unnoticed before. There were signs all around indicating that the devil used my residence as his private living quarters. I had been living with the devil. How did this happen? All my senses seemed heightened as I observed all the devil's clutter. And now I smelled his stench. There was even mail addressed to the devil, sitting on the coffee table. Now fearful, confused, and an emotional wreck, I told the devil, "I don't remember letting you in, but it's evident that you somehow reside with me." But the devil interrupted me, seeing my devastation, seeming compelled out of obligation, or more realistically, sheer amusement, to explain to me the details of our arrangement. "You see, friend, you always leave the back door open for me. You always leave it unlocked and cracked open so I can easily gain entrance into our residence without the neighbors noticing me. You always wanted to keep our arrangement secret. Periodically you go through the strange sequence of behavior where you claim you don't know me and don't understand our arrangement. I don't understand you or your concern about secrecy when most of your neighbors let me in through their back door. Some let me in through the front door. Some have made me keys, feeling great sorrow for allowing the devil to live in my home. I implored him, please go. I don't want you here anymore. You take up too much room and you stink. The devil responded, friend, there is more room for me. You still have an empty room that has nothing in it. I have more things that could go there. As for the smell, it hasn't bothered you all this time. Now in tears with a heavy heart I cried, leave, devil, please leave. Incredibly in indignation the devil replied, is this how you treat your guests? Will you throw me out again, distressed nearly to a point of insanity? It then occurred to me that I have a friend. I can call a merely motion to get my cell phone, and the devil's disposition changed. The wide grin he wore for most of the night quickly disappeared. Friend, he said, who are you gonna call? I said, smiling with the widest smile I could possibly muster, devil, I'm calling my friend. At once he began packing up his belongings and said timidly, oh, you don't have to call him, I was on my way out anyway. I know when I've prolonged my stay. Besides, I have other friends to visit. I opened the back door to let the devil out. This time I ensured none of his belongings were left and that the door was locked and secured. Just as I was preparing to sit on my sofa and digest all that happened this night, I heard a gentle tapping at my back door. Who was this at my door? I wondered, trying to forget the devil's grin as I approached the door. I faintly heard words that inspired me to develop tighter security. Tomorrow shall we begin the scenario again.
Shall we begin the scenario again?